Nottinghamshire, made famous by the deeds of Robin Hood and football manager Brian Clough. But according to local anti-arms trade campaigners, Nottinghamshire has another claim to fame as a key player in the global defence industry. 27 companies manufacturing or trading in weapons and other military hardware are currently based in and around the county. Today, Kirk Jackson from Campaign Against Arms Trade has offered to take me on a whistle-stop tour around a selection of these businesses. All right, Kirk, we're off. Where are we going first?
Our first company is called Heckler & Koch. You'll notice when we get there that they don't advertise their presence.
The sign at the entrance to the industrial estate where Heckler & Koch are based has an empty space where the name of the company would normally be printed. Their warehouse, though protected by heavy security, is unsignposted.
Do you think the people around here know that on their industrial estate they've got a weapons manufacturer?
Well, they certainly didn't until we started bringing a campaign to their doorstep. The company's been in Nottingham for years, but if you tell people on the street, did you know about this gun manufacturer, they're really surprised. Heckler & Koch have been around for 60 years and their weapons are in at least 90 countries now.
Defence industry experts point out that overseas sales like these are of enormous value to the UK economy.
You're talking about direct sales, that's stuff coming from UK to customers, of up to £8 billion a year. You're then talking in direct employment of many tens of thousands, if not low hundreds of thousands of people. So it's one of the last through end-to-end industries we've got.
Kirk wants an end to the international trade in arms, but not, he says, at the cost of livelihoods.
What about all the thousands of people who are employed in the manufacturing of these weapons?
Well, the jobs that were shed from the arms industry would be soaked up by other industries.
That may be wishful thinking. Back on the road, though, the next stop is just a brief hop from the Nottinghamshire county border at a company called Chemring Defence.
Chemring, amongst other things, make crowd control ammunition, such as CS gas cartridges, CS gas grenades and stun grenades, and they also make high explosives.
Where do you know that these are being sold then? Where are they going?
Well, in 2009, Chemring, for example, was at an arms fair in Libya, and just a couple of weeks ago, the parent company, Chemring Group, was exhibiting its wares at a big arms fair in the Middle East that was attended by countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Bahrain.
The company have done nothing illegal in attending these fairs. In fact, the Middle East is a massively lucrative market for British defence companies. On a recent visit to the Persian Gulf, the Prime Minister David Cameron was accompanied by representatives from no fewer than 8 of Britain's biggest defence contractors, all keen to drum up fresh orders. But recent political turmoil across the region has led some to question the government's apparent willingness to allow weapons and crowd control equipment to be sold here.
With the direct action you're taking today, what are you hoping to achieve?
Well, we're here outside the Department of Business, and they're responsible for licences for weapons that have been sent to Libya, have been sent to Bahrain.
And when it comes to arms sales, these campaigners have a clear message for the British authorities.
Stop promoting them to repressive regimes, and make sure that arms don't end up in the hands of people who are going to be turning them on their own feet.
Industry analysts say that when it comes to military hardware, our government boasts some of the tightest export controls in the world.
Within the UK, the idea that people are just selling stuff out of car boots around the corners couldn't be further from the truth. If you look at the type of paperwork you have to go through, even to export things like uniforms, the overall level of licensing is incredibly strict.
Back on tour with Nottinghamshire anti-arms trade campaigner Kirk Jackson, we've got just one more place to visit.
Okay, Kirk, now you brought me to the middle of suburbia. Surely there aren't any weapons manufacturers around here?
Well, the interesting thing is that house just over there is the registered business address of a company. One of their lines has been small arms, in particular the type like AK-47s and grenade launchers, things like that.
There's nothing for the neighbours to worry about, though. There are no weapons or ammo here. The company acts as a middleman, brokering deals between others. It's just one among thousands of British defence businesses engaged in an industry worth over £35 billion.
Today we've visited big arms companies and little arms companies, and if you take the time to just look around you and look on the list of arms companies in your county or around your town, you'll be surprised by how many you'll find.
Well, Simon, when we saw that film
Yeah.
first off, we were shocked
Couldn't
at how
believe it.
low-key some of those sites.
Oh, when I was led down that cul-de-sac the first time, I didn't think for a minute he's going to point out an arms dealer in the corner. So, I mean, I was stunned as well. But I think the viewers at home can rest assured there probably isn't an arms dealer sitting in their cul-de-sac. But they would be surprised just how many arms companies there are all over the UK. We've mocked up a graphic here just to give you a sort of an illustration. Now, the first company we're going to see is BAE Systems. They're the biggest in the UK and obviously the biggest in the world. They're making warships in Glasgow. They're making jet planes down in Warton in Lancashire, all the way down to making small arms and ammunition down in Cheshire. Then you've got Lockheed Martin, which you might know from the census at the moment. They're doing that. They're making missiles in Farnborough for us. Scarily, they're making nuclear weapons in Aldermaston. You've got a French company called Thales. They're making military drones in Leicester. And then we've got more missiles being made in Basingstoke.
What an extraordinary map that is.
I know. You wouldn't have an idea, would you? So what did the government say then about the use of British weaponry in these Mid-Eastern hotspots?
Well, there's been obviously a lot of controversy about potentially that we're supplying weapons that are going to repress the people in those countries. The government, in response, have revoked all arms licences to Libya and Bahrain and any weapon that could be used for internal repression. So Libya and Bahrain now join countries like Burma, Iran and Zimbabwe on embargoed countries. And the government also say we've got some of the strictest regulations in the world in the UK, and they're keeping them constantly under review to keep in touch with the changing situation.
Right, well, you've brought in some unbelievable catalogues.
All things you can buy in the UK.
You can buy, Lorraine.
Yes,
Look at
we
these.
can
Then.
buy a
yeah,
jet.
Jet, yeah, you can get all these.
You need a
Look,
submachine gun, there you go.
It's a range of guns there.
Yeah. Again, these are all on sale in the UK, so if you ever need that...
But where are these arms deals done then?
Well, some of these will be done there's a huge arms fair every September at Excel Docklands in London called the Defence Equipment International. There they'll be selling everything from machine guns to fighter jets.
It's just a thought that they sell them to countries and then there's a regime change and then we might go in there and then they might be actually killing our soldiers with weaponry that's been sold from here to there.
It's the difficulty
terrible.
predicting the future
Awful.
when you're selling arms. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
And you've actually been up in a tornado.
I have been up in a tornado. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fighter pilot. That was in the 70s, though,
Right.
when I was a wee kid, and women weren't allowed. Times have moved on.
There you
But
are.
I actually did get up, and when I got in a tornado, it was amazing. One of the most incredible experiences ever.
The stuff you've done.
Superb.
Well, thanks very much, Simon, for coming in as well. Now, just for Lorraine, we're heading north.